Alright, bunch of metalheads, it's time for yet another Underground Trio episode here on Rauta, which means we're gonna focus on the extreme end of metal with some lesser known acts, less big acts. This time I'm gonna show you them once again in the alphabetical order and then worst to best according to my own opinion. As always, feel free to disagree, it's part of the deal here. First we have a band called Mother, which really doesn't sound like a metal band name, let's be honest about it. This is an album called 2. Well, doesn't really tell you anything about with this cover. Then we have Temple of Decay, yet another temple band with goats and all that stuff on the cover, so you know pretty much what to expect. Word goes, expect war metal. Maybe will it go wrong? And then we have Vitriolic from Finland, which is, once again, another band with pentagrams and all. Well, roughly. So, which one to go first with? Unfortunately, this time the first band in question is Temple of Decay. I mean, unfortunate for them, not so much for the others because we don't really care, right? This is something that you would probably put into box known as Death Black. Not anything particular that kind of reminds me because this is pretty much the kind of basic stuff in the given genre. And not saying that in a negative way, just pointing out this is definitely taking parts of both worlds. Best of them both worlds? Maybe, maybe not. But Polish take in the given genre means that this is more maybe leaning to the world of death metal, giving it a little bit of a Slavic vibe and then some death metallic parts. While it would be so nice to say, yes, this Deus, the album here it is in question, is more like black metal with death metal twist, it could be a little bit misleading, even if not outright wrong. Lyrics here on the booklet, as you can see, are in Polish, so get your dictionaries ready if you want to read some of them, or just go for the sonical approach. Technically speaking, everything here is quite alright. There is nothing bitching about the vocals or the production, everything is very fitting for your given black death metal tour. I mean, it just works like that. Very simplistic and all that stuff. Now the downside is, you've probably heard similar albums already 1,000 times and more. Because nothing here really stands out. Nothing here is sticking out like, wow, this is a great riff. This is some great performance of the vocals. Or, hey, wow, this is really avant-garde, progressive, experimental take on the things. It's more like on the safe middle of the road path what you're getting with Temple Decay. That is not a bad thing if you're expecting what it is. I mean, think it like a lager beer. You just want your basic lager. Not exactly super malty, not hoppy, not orally infused with alcohol, and obviously still having some bit of an alcohol. You get what you want. This is exactly that. If you want to keep your black metal with death metal simplistic, ready to go, no gimmicks, no bullshit, this is the kind of stuff you're looking for. Links are included in the description box. Then, totally something different is coming from Mother, and if I remember correctly, these guys are from Denmark. No, Belgium. It must have been Belgium, because I was really wondering, because this band doesn't really, remind me of any given scene or typical genre. Jokes. So, here it is, Mother with the very kind of unique, very minimalistic ditchy sleeve. As you can see, no real booklet. All the information is here with the lyrics and all, which I really couldn't read without my reading glasses. Yes, I do have a pair of those with situations like this. For a situation like this. Now, this one is kind of interesting in terms of genre because it's not really falling into any of those bigger subgenres we were talking about. Death metal, black metal, thrash metal, heavy metal, whatever. This is more like post-black meeting, having a date with sludge doom. Not exactly very doomy in terms of tempo and all, but definitely getting a little bit that mud coming from sludge department. So kind of a heavy and kind of a anti-mainstream in terms of that. But a lot of things come also from black metal part, but I would say it's more post-black rather than typical black metal, because this doesn't really sound like anything like first or second wave of black metal. You can, if you stretch a bit, you can say, yeah, more like a modern ways of black metal. And I think I read some kind of a description, maybe a press release, that it would be calling more like black gaze, that, meeting with sludge and all. So roughly, these are just kind of guidelines which to go through, like rules of thumb rather than just strict focus on a given genre. This is roughly where you would go for if you were expecting to listen to Mother and if you're expecting to figure out what the genre is. So definitely a lot of black metal aggression here with the given vocals and all that stuff, which is a good thing. When it gets more sludgier and rather than your typical fast forward satanic evil black metal, yeah, it gets a little bit off-road. So if that Temple of Decay was a lager beer, this would be kind of a hybrid, like a black IPA or some weird stout, which is definitely putting you into the world of coconuts and all. So you're kind of like, yes, this is stout, heavy, thick, maybe imperial stout with the coconuts or whatever. And you're like, man, I don't really understand this taste because it's putting some kind of different set of flavors together and trying to give me an indication like I'm gonna get drunk with this, but I don't understand what's going on. So the sludginess is almost like the thickness of a stout beer, and then you go also very, very much like in the world of some other beers, and you're like, I don't know, this is confusing. At the same time, this feels heavy and this feels dark, but kind of sludgy. So a weird mutant kid from your block. Some will love it because it's that mutant kid that doesn't sound like most of it out there, and some will just like, it's too confusing, it's not really what I'm looking for. So if you're looking for a pure black metal experience and you know really give a rat's ass about the other genres, this might be too tough of a cookie for you to crack. But if you're looking for a Mother apart from Danzig department, maybe give this one a shot. And last but not least, we go to world of more simplistic approach, little bit of like Temple of Decay, but in my opinion, somewhat better. This is Vitriolic from Finland, and their style is listed on Metalog site as black speed metal. Now, there's a little bit of debate going on, not literally, but like theoretically, whether you call it black death, not black death, but black trash or black speed, because you really could go either way and nobody would give a shit. You could go even as far as to say it's black heavy metal. And now you're thinking of names. I'm guessing bands like Niflheim, maybe. Morgul from Finland, maybe. A little bit Destroyer 666 in the mix. I mean, why not? Now, this isn't as catchy as a Destroyer 666. This isn't as chaotic and frantic as Niflheim, nor as crazy and, well, frantic as well as Morgul. But there are similarities. Sometimes these guys just, let their foot come out, of the gas pedal, meaning that the tempo is not that crazy. They have a mid-tempo part here, but then again, riffs-wise. Excuse me, the flu is starting still to bother me. This is kind of like, borrowing elements from heavy metal, speed metal ideas, and a little bit of that thrashiness. Once again, when people are talking about differences speed metal and thrash metal, or heavy metal for that matter, sometimes those are the drawings written in, water. I mean, very vague in the sense of like, where speed metal ends, where thrash metal starts, or heavy metal for that matter. But anyway, because this is mostly leaning to world of black metal, obviously that kind of dominates here, with the vocal styles of being raspy and all, and with the given riffs, and maybe production-wise, this is definitely more closer to black metal. So you don't necessarily get the heavy or speed metal vibe coming from this, because this is not exactly clean vocals or high-pitchy, wah! The kind of stuff, but more, in the world of black metal. So maybe Niflheim is closest of them all, but because of more, being less frantic and all, being more of the mid-tempo heavy metal section, maybe in that sense, Destroyer 666 similarity is present, but this is not as catchy and memorable. There's some good riffs here and there, which are almost like, okay, it's gonna fly, but then again, it ends up like a chicken fly. Jumps up high, does a few flaps, then comes down. Not necessarily a bad thing, but if you're expecting the Destroyer 666 level of geniusness with the given songwriting and all, well, there's room for that. Hope. Anyway, 3 different styles from 3 different parts of the world. Check out the ones you like or ones that got you interested. Links are included in the description box. Off you go.